Hi everyone, it's Tasha. Welcome back to my channel. I am always in thrift shops looking for high-end style decor for not a lot of money, and today I'm going to be using some of my thrifted finds mixed with a few new items to style a console table. This is something that I used to struggle with. I would like to share with you some of the things that I've learned about successful console table styling. So as I've said, I really used to struggle with where to begin on how to style something like a console table in my home. And it's because I really hadn't done much research or didn't understand some of the design principles behind designing a space like that so that it ends up looking cohesive and it ends up looking designed rather than just sticking items on a table. So some of the things that I have learned over time is that first of all, you need to know your style and your color palette. This is something that you should figure out for your whole home, first of all, but once you have sort of an idea of your general aesthetic that you like in your home and also the color palette that you tend to go toward, it will make things like styling a console table or a shelf that much easier because you'll know your starting off point. Are you someone who likes to use mostly neutral colors with just a few pops of a couple of colors? Are you someone who wants only earth tones? Start there. Next, for the console table specifically, we're going to be wanting to pay attention to mixing the heights of the items that we're using. So big, taller items like big works of art, tall lamps, tall plants, alongside smaller and shorter objects like books, like bowls, little decorative objects. We're going to pay attention to how we're mixing and how we're placing those. I also try to pay attention to how I'm mixing different textures and different finishes. So textures being things like wovens versus metals versus stone versus leather, things like that. We're going to make sure that we're kind of spreading those out in our design. And I'm also going to pay attention to how I'm grouping the items, and I'm going to try out grouping things in groups of 3. It feels more appealing and dynamic and kind of finished to our eyes than sets of 2 of things. It's just a basic principle that I didn't know about until a couple of years ago, but it's well agreed on as a truth in the design world that groups of 3 and odd numbered groupings are more pleasing to our eyes. So to start things off, let me first show you the console table that I'm going to be working with today. Thank you to Nathan James, who is partnering with me in today's video. They have sent over this wooden fluted storage cabinet, which I will link in the description box, and it is so pretty. So you can line these units up to make one as large as you need for your space. I'm using 2 of these and I'm just getting ready to assemble them. It can look overwhelming when you have something that's disassembled and you have to put it together. But I'm pretty good at reading instructions, so I'm not worried. And one thing that I really like is that all of these little hardware pieces come not only with like a diagram that shows you what's what, but also they're literally numbered. So I'm towards the final steps now. I'm just inserting the shelf into the center, which is adjustable. You can put it whatever height you would want, and then I'm putting on the cabinet doors. So this is the final result after I put this together, and if you're looking for a console table, I really do like this one. It would go really well with a bohemian style, but it also works in an organic, modern, or more transitional style home like mine. My favorite feature is definitely the fluted cabinet doors, which is very trendy right now, but it's also a classic look that I think will last for a long time. The cabinets have these brass colored handles that are the perfect shade. They're not too bright and yellowy gold, and I like that the shelves inside are adjustable heights so that you can store whatever you need with the best fit for you. Each one is 31 inches wide, so you can place as many of them together as you need to fit your space. What I'm really liking about this is the fact that this is going to be able to hold so much of her stuff, this sort of stuff that I don't want to have like out in the garage or too far away, because I want it to be a viable option to play with during the day, but like it's too much to just all stay in her toy room. And so that's only half of one cabinet, not even totally full. This is going to be plenty of space, and that's such a nice feeling to have space to actually organize things and well. Another thing that I like about these cabinet doors is that they're soft close, so you can just kind of let go and it will close softly and gently on its own, so that eliminates a little bit of door slamming that might happen when you have little ones in the house. So I hope that you'll go over and check out Nathan James's website. They do have some really beautiful pieces, both indoors, living room, lighting, and also a really pretty new outdoor collection that I'm really looking at. They have some really stunning pieces for outdoors. Go and check them out, nathanjames.com. Okay, so now let's get into the actual styling. The first thing that I'm going to do is place a large anchor piece in the center of this table. In this case, it's this piece of art that I picked up for $10 at a yard sale. It's initially from Target. Next, I'm going to place one of my high items. I'm going to put this on the right hand side. This is a thrifted lamp I picked up. It's a ribbed ginger jar style lamp. I think that it's really pretty and it has lots of texture. On the other side, as another high item, I'm going to place this vase from Hobby Lobby as well as these stems that I picked up from Amazon. I really love the color of these stems because it's a nice muted green. It's not too bright and fakey looking. I will link them in the description box as well. Now I do shape these so they look a little bit more natural, but one special tip that I always like to share is to take a handheld steamer that you might have on hand for your clothes and just go around to those leaves that might be crumpled or wrinkled from the package. This does wonders. I don't know if you could see that before and after of that little stem, but I'm about to show you again. When you just take the steamer and your leaves have a little fold or something, see that little leaf, how it's all folded over at the bottom there? I'm just going to hold the steamer over it for just a moment and it magically fixes that leaf so that it is smooth and looks so much more natural. I love it. So now I have my tall lamp on one side, a tall plant on the other side, and my anchor piece in the center. So I'm paying attention to the varying heights in my vignette on this console table. Also, my lamp, as I mentioned, has a lot of texture in it. So I do have a high intensity spot of texture on one end that I'm going to pay attention to as I go forward. The next thing I'm going to place are these two books. I'm going to put these on the opposite side and start to introduce some horizontal elements into this styling. Next, I'm going to add in another piece that I'm going to sit on top of the books. In this case, it's this sculptural sort of organic shaped bowl that I picked up at a thrift shop and painted with some textured spray paint. And in this case, this acts as not only another object, but it also brings some of the texture that we were talking about to the opposite side of the table. Next, I'm going to introduce a new element of metal. These candlesticks I saw at the thrift store just the other day really caught my eye. I love the little kind of cup shape on the top and I think that they're very unique. So I bought two of these in different heights and I'm placing these on the other side. As I said, this is a new finish that I'm introducing into my space and I'm taking a look as I go at all of the varied heights that I've been able to style so far. Now the next piece that I'm going to introduce to the console table are these two books. I like the color of these and also the topics. These are just good styling books. I'm going to be placing them so they have kind of a casual look just propped up against this lamp. I like the way that that looks sometimes rather than laying them flat. And as you can see, I'm also starting to create my groups of three that are more pleasing to the eye. And I'm liking the way that this looks so far, and I think that I've hit all of my main points so far as my style and color palette being cohesive. I've mixed my heights, mixed my textures and finishes, and I've tried out some groups of three. And one additional thing that I'm going to add in here just for practicality is a candle snuffer. I'm going to add that right beside the candles. It's also an additional touch of black to kind of balance from the other side of the table, so it works out pretty well, I think. As you can tell, our cat Curry really likes to check out anything new that comes into the house. Now, if I replace the brown bowl with this really textured box that's also in kind of a coffee brown, it ties together with the books over here and balances things out, I think, even more. Now I've also picked up a couple of little votive candles that I can actually use in these candle holders since they don't fit my normal tapered candles that I use, and I think that these actually look really sweet sitting in here. So this is the final style table. I'm just going to, as a last finishing touch, light these candles to see how everything looks, but I'm thinking that I really like how everything is spaced out here and how I have varied the heights and the textures and the colors to a certain extent used in this vignette. I hope that this video has given you some ideas and inspiration for how you might go about styling a console table or other table in your home as well. Thank you again to Nathan James for providing that console table for me to show you all. I will link to that in the description box as well as anything else that I have purchased online that's not thrifted. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit like and leave me a comment, and I will see you at the next video.